right, Tony, we're here at your park, Loveday 4x4 Park. Tell us a little bit about your park.
So we're 8,000 acres on the River Murray here. We've got 14 k's of riverfront camping, and day to day we operate as a destination for people to come and camp on the river, drive around our four-wheel drive tracks. There's about 50 k's of them. We also do rides in the buggies and kids rally drives. Kids from 8 to 15 years old can drive our rally cars, and we've got the tavern, the food, you name it. We're a place for people that like to get outdoors to come.
Now this weekend there's something special. We've got a race here. What's going on?
So this is the Loveday 400, which is round 3 of the BF Goodrich Motorsport Australia Off-Road Racing Championship. So yeah, everyone from all over Australia that's got their fast cars, bring them out and get loud and loose here.
Now on the Brink Motorsport were here last year, and they were kind of come again this year, but had a little bit of a fuel problem, and we're looking to withdraw, but you've helped them out.
Yeah, so I got a message yesterday saying that there's a bit of a hole in the fuel tank, and no, you're not getting out of it this easy, Glenn. So we had a spare car sitting here because we've got the new one that Jody's racing. So I went, bring your numbers over, whack them on that car and use it. Glenn's great for the sport, and I'd hate to see him miss out on racing the best race of the series.
Yeah, look, pretty quick change of plans. We went from highs to lows to highs on Wednesday. So we had just a serious problem that we couldn't fix on my car in a short amount of time, fuel tank issue. So I rang to give the bad news that I was going to withdraw my entry, and received a pretty quick text back from Tony of an offer to, if I wanted to drive his car rather than miss out on the event. And I did kindly remind him of, did he see the footage from Fink last year of what I did to a car, and didn't seem to bother him too much. And yeah, look, the deal was real. It was genuine. He didn't want me to miss out. We're currently leading the Australian side-by-side championship, so he just sort of said, you're definitely coming and you're going to have a crack and keep going. So it was an offer I couldn't really refuse, yeah. So very much appreciated and humbled by his offer.
I'm feeling a lot less nervous than I was for Fincari, which is nice, but obviously with any event there's a bit of nerves that come with it. This weekend we're in a completely different Can-Am, so just when you get used to one, Glenn shakes things up and you get another, but it's a great test and I'm really looking forward to it.
So it's Friday, Prologue Day. You don't usually go particularly well in Prologue, but before you even started Prologue, there's a lot of work to do on the car, and the guys worked all morning on it, including you.
Yeah, look, it was more about having a good look over the car and making sure we were happy, and I want to do the car. They've lent me the car, I want to do it justice, make sure we finish. This is a regular car that they also use in their business here, so it gets a lot of use. So yeah, we just decided to do a few things, drive shafts and uprights and brakes and rotors and that, just to make sure we get through the weekend. Yeah, so a lot of work. Yeah, it was all hands on deck, so not very often you see me doing stuff, but it was required today, even though I probably wasn't doing that important of things. But no, they did a really good job, got it all ready just in time. Like, it was sort of down to the last 10-15 minutes before we could go for a drive and have a look at the track and familiarise myself with the car. The car felt like a Can-Am. That was the first thing. It was, not unlike my car, so that was good. But yeah, the suspension is, it's amazing.
Yeah, there was a bit of nerves. It seems I've forgotten what it feels like to be off-roading. I used that entire Prologue to warm up. I'm not going to lie, poor Glenn had to deal with all the little squeals, and the track feels a bit different to Fincari, probably a bit more rougher than I wasn't ready for at all. But that's okay. I appreciate Prologue. I'm glad we do it. So hopefully I'll be a bit more prepared tomorrow.
Prologue went well. I probably could have done a better time than we did. I slowed down a little bit towards the end where I just had missed a corner and I went, I don't want to be doing anything silly right here and now. But through the whoops and the big dips and the jumps, obviously this car is set up for this track. So yeah, it handles amazing. Very, very easy car to drive. I'm really looking forward to having a crack tomorrow in it.
So many whoops. I've never really experienced them like that. Glenn obviously has, because he was having the time of his life. I was not.
Woo! No whoop! Full left. 250 over big whoops.
My car would not do that.
Oh, Crest Brown, bad dip.
But once I kind of calmed down and relaxed, I did actually come to enjoy it.
And where'd you finish the Prologue?
I think it was 6th, I'm not too sure, 6th I think, which is about where we normally finish anyway. And there's 3 or 4 new Maverick R's in front of us and a couple of the fast guys, so yeah, it was pretty much on par with where I'd normally run in a race, but yeah, I actually prologued a lot better today than I normally would, so yeah, very happy.
And what about tomorrow? What do you think you're going to do tomorrow? What's the strategy?
First and foremost, look after the car, so I keep giving it back in the way they gave it to me. And just we'll be in the second group, so that is actually very good because we get to see if anybody in the first group's having problems and you can adjust your race to suit. But the main thing is it's 2 solid days of 400 odd Ks, so there's a lot of racing to go. It's like 10 laps of this track over 2 days. So I think we do 2, then it's 3, and for tomorrow 2, 3 and a 1. So yeah, we'll just probably mostly just watch what other people are doing and see where we go from there.
And the fact that you're sitting in the lead of the championship, that means that you do have to focus on getting some good points.
Yeah, look, there's 2 stories to the championship. You have to finish the whole weekend for the championship points, but you don't have to finish the whole weekend for class points. So there are a lot of people that just go hard for the class side of things. So yeah, so there's actually 2 races for us and we're leading both of them at the moment. That story will probably change on the weekend, but let's see how we go.
Straight jump okay. 105 right. Brown, straight jump.
We're at Loveday 4x4 Park. It's the Loveday 400 off-road race and it's Saturday. There's been 2 heats today, both of them completed in different conditions. And we're here with Glenn Brinkman. How did heat 1 go, Glenn?
Yeah, the first heat was, we had a few issues. Started off quite well. The suspension in that car is just brilliant. But I've just felt a bit odd on the first lap around and sort of worked out eventually that we'd probably broken a drive shaft. But it wasn't really holding us up too much. And then just at the end of the first lap, we picked up a flat tyre as well. So I thought we could get around the next lap. We got passed by a fair few people, but it was still quicker than stopping to change a tyre. It's a 7-8 minute exercise to do a tyre in the car, so we figured that we'd soldier on, and then about 5 k's from the end we broke another drive shaft. So yeah, it was we just made it here enough with to get back to service so that we could do the next section.
It was cold and miserable and wet this morning, a bit of a different track condition.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was really cold and really wet, and it's quite slippery. A lot of clay sections, so very slippery, especially in this stadium section. So yeah, there's a bit to be careful of.
I didn't wake up this morning thinking that I was going to get wet while racing, so that was brand new experience for me. I think the most challenging part of that is, well, one, not only it's cold, but the pace notes. They're not laminate, they're not waterproof, so I found that quite challenging. The notes are a little bit worse for wear. I'm currently rewriting them because they're ripped to shreds. Bit of paper mache in the car, arts and crafts.
So a lot of people don't use paper notes at all. They use a GPS device and electronic devices, but for you it's a real issue.
It is, but at the same time, I think electronics probably wouldn't go so well in the weather either way. So I think no matter what method or channel of notes you're using, you're going to come up against challenges. So it just depends on the severity, I guess.
Now, heat 2 was a little bit drier, the sun was out, it was a bit warmer. What were the track conditions like for you?
Weirdly enough, I actually preferred the morning when it was raining because there was no dust, there was nothing. It actually was a really nice, smooth track. It was a bit more chopped up this afternoon, a bit more dust when overtaking was happening, but still not too bad. I think today we've had everything thrown at us that possibly could between, drive shafts, notes breaking, intercom stopped working. It's just been a really all-round challenging day.
The second heat, a bit different and a few more dramas again.
Yeah, it was a dry track and dust is out there. But we started off pretty well again, and we've resolved what it is now. We know what the drive shaft issue is, but we broke another drive shaft in the first lap. So we pulled off into the pit area after lap 1, and they cut that out with an angle grind.
Well,
Good.
Can I lock the diff? 3-wheel drive.
We finished the rest of the next 2 laps in 3-wheel drive, so a bit tough, but the main thing is that we've got to keep circulating and you see what happens at the end of the weekend. There's still another 5 laps after this yet, so and the track's really rough, so I expect there'll be a fairly high attrition rate, which may help us.
200. Crest into fast 10 left.
Now, we talked a little bit about it yesterday after Prologue. There's 2 competitions really running. There's a class competition, there's an outright competition, and the points work out different for both.
Yeah, you can miss a heat here and still do very well in class points for the weekend, whereas outright, side by side, you have to finish the whole weekend, every heat, every section and everything as well. So yeah, so obviously the outright is what we're concentrating on. So yeah, so just keep going and keep resolving the problems and yeah, get to the end.
Because from a class point of view, you score points just for starting, is that right?
Yep, you get points just for starting, don't even have to finish. So it's a bit odd, but that's the way it rolls. But it's quite a high point system too. So yeah, you can still do quite well if you just finish a section.
In the outright category though, if you start it, you don't get any points, do you?
No, you've got to finish. You have to finish every heat, every section. So yeah, it's outright's what we're looking at.
And again tomorrow, another repeat of what we did today, another 5 laps.
Yeah, 5 laps of extremely cut up track. Yeah, so it's going to be very hard on the car. So probably tomorrow's when you've got to nurse it.
And is that the plan for you, nurse the car around?
Yeah, well, hopefully if we resolve this drive shaft issue, I think we'll be able to push a lot harder than we have, but still preserve the car.
Round 6 left into 6.
So Glenn, it's been a big weekend here at the Loveday 400. It's the second day. We've done race 3 and 4 today. The car's quite different.
Yeah, they did a fair bit of work on it last night and made it back to it's just needed a few bushes and that, but transformed the steering. So yeah, the car's really good. I'm happy to give it back in the condition that it's in now. So yeah, but it was very appreciative for the loan of it. Got some maintenance done on it for him, so I'll give it back. He'll be able to wrap a few Ks around here over the next few months.
Now, race 3 this morning was a 3-lapper. It was quite cool this morning, but the dust was back.
Yeah, it's obviously this track deteriorates pretty badly. Dust was there. We had a pretty dust-free run though. We had to pass a few cars because of our slow run yesterday. It gets the adrenaline going. It's pretty good fun, but yeah, lots of square edges in lots of the ruts and the dunes there today. So yeah, but it's pretty hard going.
Yeah, lots of ruts, and also there's a few bits that are really rocky.
Big rocky.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the rocks like that before. Maybe it's just something that we're exposing. But yeah, it was quite rocky where it was rocky. So yeah, it's pretty easy to come undone. But surprised by the lack of carnage, considering how hard everybody's going this weekend.
Yeah, lack of carnage, which didn't really help you because you were hoping for a bit of carnage today.
I always hope for a little bit of carnage because I'm just not that fastest person, but you know, it's nice to be the best of the rest, but that's not going to happen this weekend. But we got to finish, and that's what we came here for. It was more about getting a finish in, and yeah, we knocked out all the sections and had good fun.
10 right, 10 left, rail short.
So Jackie, you've done 4 races now, 10 laps in total. You must be pretty comfortable with this track, and maybe you want to go and do it again.
I really did enjoy the 40k track. Being able to do that 10 times really allowed you to get really comfortable with the notes and actually just have fun with the race. I think this morning's loop, Glenn and I have laughed a lot this morning, probably more than what we have in a car. So it just shows that, you know, being able to do the same loop again and again actually just makes it a bit funner.
So obviously the track's had 10 runs over it. Did it deteriorate at all?
It was a bit rough this afternoon. You could definitely notice that, you know, it's had a bit of use. Some of the I guess the holes are a bit squarer, I think is what they say in off-road. And yeah, we were bottoming out a little bit. I think that's what was happening. It was definitely a bit rougher. Definitely had to hold on a bit tighter, but all in all, still a fun track.
Now, did you lose any pages out of your notes? I know yesterday you were having trouble with the notes ripping out. I know that you've added a little kick-ass, what would you call that, a wind deflector on the front of the car. Did that help?
It was amazing. It actually really did help. I rewrote my notes last night and they held up beautifully. They could even be used again. So I'm quite thankful to the crew that we've got that have worked around the clock this weekend to make sure that we could stay out on the track. So yeah, no, really great bit of engineering there.
Yeah, Mick, Daniel and Rob have done a fantastic job, haven't they? They've really worked hard. I don't think I've seen a crew work so many hours on a car trying to get it ready.
No, you're right. Mick, Dan and Rob have gone above and beyond this weekend and we are so grateful, and Glenn and I have said between us in the car just how thankful we are for them, because it was a great weekend and we wouldn't be here without them. And obviously we wouldn't be here also without the support of the Loveday Park as well. So very grateful to everyone that's banded together to make this weekend a success for us.
Now, race 4 this afternoon was only 2 laps and it was the last of the day. Dust was even more of a problem, but once again you were out of the dust a bit.
Yeah, we had patches of dust. You know, that just serves as a bit of an incentive to start catching the person in front. So I think we passed one or two people, a couple of people in there, and we just started to get one at the end. So not too bad. The dust could have been a lot worse, but the track is it's pretty hard to drive on now. Very easy to break a car. So it was just all about finishing, give it a wash, and give it back to him.
And now that you have finished, that means you've got points for every race this weekend.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll see how that all tallies up. I'm pretty sure our slow start yesterday will put us down the points a fair bit, but you never know. We'll just wait and see what happens.
But at the end of the day, any points are better than no points, because last week it was no points.
Yeah, no, very thankful for Tony and Jody for giving me the car to use for the weekend, or I would have been at home mowing the lawn, so I know what I'd rather do.